Last week, you guys seen me review this cart, and I told you that I had a project coming up for it, and you hadn't already guessed by now, is I wanted to make a detailing cart. So I could have a pressure washer on here, put all my detailing stuff on here. On the back of my house, there's no electrical outlet, so I was gonna put a power bank on here so I could have electricity to power the pressure washer. So obviously, you won't need the power station here on top like I'm gonna use if you already have some place to plug up electricity. But you can still watch this video because I'm going to show you how to put a detailing cart together and just make it a little more user friendly. So first things first, you can see that I started off with this Chenrose cart from Amazon. It's very well built, and so I wanted to start with a good base. And as far as the pressure washer goes, this is a very popular pressure washer in the detailing community already, just simply because this Karcher 1700 PSI pressure washer is small in size, and the good thing about it is it has a 3-year warranty. So if it breaks or something happens to it, the pump goes bad or the electric motor goes bad, you basically call Karcher, and from what I understand, they send you another one. So you just got to register it, and you do that online. All right, so we toyed around with different ideas on where to mount the pressure washer. And so I thought about putting it here on top, but I thought, nah, I don't want to use all my easily accessible space just to set a pressure washer on. So we tried putting it on the very bottom shelf down here, and it fit. It would actually fit, but the top shelf was rubbing on the pressure washer. There was just tiny little bit of room there because I had a piece of foam up underneath there. I didn't want to scratch that up, and so I didn't like not ever being able to get to the pressure washer, and if there was a leak or something and I had to work on it, on a fitting or something, I wanted to be able to get to it. So I thought, well, I don't want to put it on the bottom because that makes it hard to get out. Me and my girlfriend was talking about it, and we were sitting there thinking the same thing. Why don't we just add a shelf? And I toyed around with different brackets and different ideas for a couple days in my head, and I went walking around to Lowe's, and I seen that they had these shelf brackets here, and obviously they're painted black. I was like, bingo, that's it. I've seen these over there in the section at Lowe's where like the mirrors and pictures and home decor stuff is, and they just had these shelf brackets, and they were like $8 a piece. So I got 2 of the shelf brackets, so that's $16. And then I had this little 1x board just laying around. I took it and I thought, well, I can paint it black since I have some black paint. And I thought, well, if the board gets wet, it's going to ruin, so I need to paint it. But then I got to thinking, well, when I put that pressure washer on there, the bottom of it's going to just scratch the paint right off. So I thought, well, what can I do to waterproof it? So why don't I just burn it with a little torch? And so that's what I did. I took and burned. You can see right there, I've got the wood all burned. Helps repel that water. And I figured that would be perfect. As far as for mounting the shelf, I didn't have to drill out any holes. That was my intention for this cart, was not to have to drill any holes and ruin the cart, make any kind of marks on the cart in case I ever at a later date want to take this back to just a tool cart. I can. So what I did was right here in the middle, I don't know how well you guys can see this, but there is a bolt that attaches the middle tray to the actual cart. So I removed that bolt, and that's what I mounted the shelf onto. So I didn't have to drill any holes whatsoever. I just used the existing hardware from the cart and put the shelf on there. Now, I know you're wondering, well, how are you going to keep it from falling off the shelf? So if you look right here on top, you can see that I have some eyelets sticking out right in there. And those are 1/4 inch stainless steel eyelets. We went to a discount store, and the guy had a whole box of them. I mean, there was probably 25 or 30 in the box, and we haggled with him, and he even just let us have the whole box, $10. So, if he was to go to a store, these would probably run you $3 a piece. Anyways, so that's what we did. And there were some existing holes already on the toolbox. You can see right here on this end, there's a hole there and a hole there, and it was the same thing over here. So we just used those existing holes, run an eyelet through there. I just had a couple extra straps, And so I just run those through that eyelet, wrapped them around the handle, and secured it nice and tight to the cart. And it doesn't move, it doesn't vibrate, it doesn't shake, or any of that. One thing that I did have to accommodate was right here. I had to take and put a decking board, like a 1-inch decking board in there, just to accommodate the cable coming out of the back, the electrical cable, because the cable comes out the back of the pressure washer, and that way there's no strain on this electrical connection there. You can see that, let's say I want to take the pressure washer off the cart here and return to normal. All I have to do is just loosen these straps, lift it up, and then remove the one bolt on each side of the shelf. Right there, there's the bolt, and the cart's back to completely to normal. So if you're wondering about cost for everything, the cart was $129. I bought the pressure washer for, I believe, $113 on Prime Day. Now, from time to time, this particular Karcher Cube pressure washer goes on sale right around $100, and I think by the time I paid taxes on mine, I think I paid about $113 or something like that. But it was somewhere around the $100 range on Prime Day. But like I said, they do run sales on it. Now, the two brackets there cost me $8 a piece. The two eyelets cost you $2 or $3. For about under $300, you could have a pressure washing system, that would work okay at this point. And you could stop here and just use some of the stuff that you already have in your pressure washing and detailing arsenal, because I'm sure you guys all have car wash stuff, and you all have a mitt, and you have tire shine and things like that, and you could just put that on there and just, this would just be a good start. But I'm going to take it a step further. So everybody knows when you buy a new pressure washer, it always comes with the world's cheapest hose, and this is no exception. Even though I do like the Karcher pressure washer, the hoses, they just suck. They kink up really bad, and they're very stiff, and I'm just never happy with them. So I wanted to upgrade the hose. Also, the next thing you want to upgrade is the wand. Now, I could use that hose and use this wand and just put a foam cannon on the end of this, and it would work fine. Or I could put soap here in the little dispenser on the end of the pressure washer, and it would work okay. But I want something that gives you better performance. So I wanted to go ahead and upgrade this wand. Now, am I going to throw this wand away? No, because if I ever wanted to wash off my back patio or something like that, then I have a longer wand that I can use. So what I'm going to do is just stick this in the little cubby area. So next, I wanted to upgrade some other stuff to make this more user-friendly for, washing your car and having a little bit more length on the hose and all that. So I went to a company called Yamatic, and they sell a kit here that costs right at $100. Comes with a 50-foot hose, and this is a very flexible hose. This one's been tested by, I think the guy's name's Josh. He's a big detailer, and he said this was probably the closest thing to Uberflex that you could find. And so I wanted a 50-foot hose instead of the little 20-foot hose or 30-foot hose that comes with the Karcher pressure washer, and I wanted something that was a little bit less kink resistant. You can see right here, I can try to bend that one and it's not wanting to kink up on you. And so that's why I wanted this one. Let's say you buy Uberflex hose, it doesn't come with the fittings. And so that's one reason why I wanted this kit, because if you buy the Uberflex hose, that I believe the 50-footers, probably somewhere around $50 or something like that, maybe a little more. Then you got to turn around and buy all the fittings to hook it to the pressure washer, and then to hook it to the gun and put a swivel on there. And by the time you get through buying all these fittings, then you got 25 or 30 more bucks into it. And then, that's another trip to the hardware store to try to find all these fittings, and most likely you're going to goof up and get the wrong one, and that's another trip to the hardware store. I thought, well, let's just get the kit. It's right around $100. Comes with a hose, 50-foot hose. Comes with a short gun. It comes with a swivel, so it swivels here, and then it comes with the quick adapter on the end of the short gun. And I gotta say, it seems like it's got a nice pull on it. It is a little stiff to pull, but it is what it is. I mean, $100 for the whole kit. So I figured for the money, you know, I'm not doing this all day long, so I don't really care if it takes a little effort to squeeze this down. Like I said, I'm not detailing cars all day long. I'm going to be washing maybe 2 cars at the very max, mine and my girlfriend's. So, you know, I figured that'd be the way to go. And like I said, it comes with that swivel on there, so it helps keep that hose from kinking up and being a pain in the butt when you're trying to use it. Then also, it comes with these tips. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 different tips on here. So you can get pretty much any kind of spray that you want. If you look right here, you've got all these different fittings and all this brass. Now, I figured once I got this kit in the mail, I figured the brass wouldn't be any good, you know, because usually when you get brass fittings from China, they're just not of good quality. Well, that was not the case here. These are really heavy and they're high quality. I mean, literally, you can look at the way that they're made and you can feel how heavy they are. These are really good quality fittings. One last thing, I told you that you could put soap in the soap dispenser over here on the pressure washer, and you could do it that way and you would get okay results. But me personally, I wanted to use a foam cannon. I want something that's going to put out a lot of foam, and I want it to be on there as thick as possible, and that way it can set on the paint and get all that dirt loose. You know, I want something that's going to do a good job. That's what I said. This kit comes with it, and it says right here, Yamatic inspired by industry engineering. So we'll see how good it works, and I'm going to go ahead and get everything put together. Now, it did come with some Teflon tape and some packaging. I don't know what I did with it, but I'm not going to use their Teflon tape. I've got some good quality Teflon tape. I'd rather not chance it. I've used this stuff for a long time and it works. It's called Blue Monster. And then I'm going to take it a step further and I'm going to put some pipe dope on there. And I know some of you guys are going to be like, why are you putting both on there? Well, you ask any plumber and they'll tell you that most of them use Teflon tape and pipe dope at the same time, because time is money for plumbers. And if they've got to come back to somebody's house and fix a leak, it costs them money and it costs them time. And that's the last thing that they want to do, is have a leak and have to come back to somebody's house. So I have talked to many plumbers that says they'll put the Teflon tape on there and then put like a little skim coat of pipe dope on top of it, and they don't have any leaks. And I've done it many times myself and I never have any leaks. This is just your, you know, pipe thread sealant, and this is just your Blue Monster PTFE thread tape. If you're interested in any of this stuff, I'll put a link for it down in the description. But I'm going to go ahead and show you how to get everything set up, and we're going to make this thing into a really nice setup on a budget. So as it sits just right here like it is, you've got about $129 in the cart. Before taxes, I paid right at $100 for the Karcher pressure washer, and so that's $229. And then $100 for this kit right here with all the fittings and the hoses and all that. So about $329. You could have the same exact system that I got and do the same thing. So we're going to put it all together and show you how it all works out. So I went ahead and put this fitting here on the end of the short gun, and as you can see, it's got a swivel in it. And then I went ahead and put this fitting on the end of the hose, and I've got it all tightened up. And then this end doesn't have a fitting. So what I'm going to do is show you how to do it in case you don't know how to do it at home. Now the way that I do it is kind of a little more particular than most, but what I like to do is take a little alcohol, put it on a rag, and then wipe these fittings down. These brass fittings, sometimes they have oil or grease from your hands on there, or just from, you know, the making of them. And so I like to get all the grease and stuff off of them. Then next, I'm going to take my tape, I'm going to pull it out like that. Now remember, you want to put this on going to the right. So when you thread it on, you want it to turn to the right. It'll make more sense to you here in just a second. But I'll go ahead and tell you, if you put it on the wrong direction, when you go to tighten the fitting up, half the time the tape will fall off, and you know, you don't get a good seal. And don't get the tape too far down in the inlet part of it, and don't wrap it too many times. I usually go about 2 times and then I just break it off. You can see right there, now the tape is right there where you want it, and you can see that I've only wrapped it about twice. And then now I'll come back with this pipe dope, And this stuff here is probably overkill because I got the one that is rated for gas lines. You don't have to get the one that's rated for gas. I just was working on a set of gas logs, and this is the only pipe dope that I had left over from that. So I figured I would go ahead and put it to use. I ain't gonna throw it away. Before you go ahead and put this brass fitting onto here, and what you want to do is lubricate that O-ring right there, because there is an O-ring right down in that little hole. I don't know how well you guys can see, but there's a little O-ring down in there. But what I like to do is lubricate it with some super lube. And the way that I do that is you can't get your finger in there to lubricate that O-ring without getting grease on the threads. So when these two come together, the O-ring is going to be touching on the inside of there. So what I like to do is just take and get some of this little super lube, just put some on a Q-tip, and I'm not going to put much in there. I'm just going to put just a little layer just on the inside of this brass fitting. And the reason I do that is so when I push them together and tighten them up, and that way it's not hurting it in any way, it's helped lubricating it. And then I'm just going to tighten these two up, and so when they pull together, you're going to have a nice tight seal and you won't have any leaks, and that O-ring will be nicely lubricated. Now the next part is very critical, and that is because I have seen people take, you know, a pair of channel locks that has a rough gripper edge that has ridges on it down here, and I've seen people put channel locks on there and tighten it up, and then when they get through, they'll be inspecting their work, and then they'll find a brass splinter in their finger. Ask me how I know. I've done it and I've seen people do it, but don't do that. That's incorrect. You can use a regular wrench or an adjustable wrench. Just don't use pliers when you're tightening down brass, because it is soft and it will make splinters, and it will get in your hands or somebody else's hands, and it hurts. So it doesn't take much force to tighten these up. Now I can take and connect the hose to this end, or I can disconnect it and connect it to this end. Now also, I've got this fitting here. This fitting is going to mount right here at the end of the pressure washer. All right, so the same thing right in here. I like taking that Q-tip, some of that super lube, and just run it around the inside area of that fitting. That's only going to be lubricating that O-ring that is inside that fitting right there. Now you don't have to put any Teflon tape or pipe dope right here on these threads. Tighten this up and it's going to go on there nice and easy, because that O-ring is sliding on that fitting. And like I said, you ain't got to get these crazy tight. Now you'll notice there is some play in this fitting, and that's just very common with all pressure washers. They're not, you know, super tight. There is a little bit of play in it, but it's not the fitting, it's the actual pipe piece that's sticking out on the pressure washer. So that's very common. So now what you can do, since I had that quick connect fitting on there, you can hook it right into your hose, and now you have a swivel. So that keeps a lot of the kinks and stuff out of the hose, and you know, it helps get it straightened out on this end. But then the other end is connected to the short gun, and it has a swivel on the end of it as well. So you know, you got a swivel over here and a swivel over here. It's really going to help keep those kinks out of your hose, and it's going to keep a lot of the cussing down. Just to be honest with you, because I'm telling you, it's very frustrating when you're out there trying to wash your car and you get a kink in your hose. It just, I'm telling you, it'd make Billy Graham cuss. So this really does make this kit a lot more user friendly, and it's definitely worth the $100. I can tell you, with just what all it comes with. And when it's time to put this thing up for storage, all you got to do is just pull that out, and it's a quick disconnect, and you just leave that on there. All right, so you seen me put on this fitting, and then the two fittings on each end of the hose, and then I've got this fitting here that fits on the end of the short gun. So I went ahead and put my tape on there, and then some pipe dope. So you ain't got to tighten these things down to 100 foot-pounds. You want to get them somewhat snug. Give it just a little bit more, And that's going to be it for me right there. Whenever you use the pipe dope, go ahead and wait about an hour before you use it. This is not something that you can just use right away. Give it at least an hour to at least set up and start drying, and then you should be able to try it out. But shouldn't have any leaks, but if you do, you can always just tighten up on it just a little bit more, and 9 times out of 10 it'll go ahead and seal it all. And so now I've got pretty much just a full quick connect system. You've seen how I could put the gun on and off, put the hose on and off the pressure washer. Now I can put the different spray tips on there, and I can even put the foam cannon on there. You know, it's a quick disconnect here as well. So yeah, it makes it really easy for you guys at home to take everything on and off in just a few minutes. All right, so next, this fitting here comes with the pressure washer. And so you're going to go ahead and screw it on. It's got a screen in the middle there and with a gasket, so it helps catch any larger particles that might be coming through that water hose, some trash in your water hose. It'll catch it. And then normally you would just put a quick connect that hooks into here that comes off to the side. Well, I wanted something that come over to the side this way to take some of the strain off of the side of the pressure washer. And so what I was going to do is add a little fitting here. I found this one at Walmart. It was back there with the RV stuff. You know, it was just a 90-degree elbow fitting. And what I was going to do is take and put it in right here like that. And that way I can run my hose and put a clamp on it somewhere, probably right there where that bolt is sticking out. I would probably take and fasten my hose somewhere right in there to keep the strain from the weight of the hose off the end of the pressure washer there, so it don't break it off, because you know it is lifted a little bit higher up off the ground than normal. So I guess the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put another filter strainer in here, just because I'm OCD. I don't want there to be any kind of trash or anything that would gum the line up. But then one day I was on Amazon and I found these here, and I use these on my larger pressure washers as well. I've got a 4200 pressure washer and put it in there like that. And I found that silicone seals up a lot better than the rubber because it's softer. And that'll be some extra protection. Since there's already one screen in this area, there'll be one right here as well. But like I said, I'm going to put this elbow on here and I'm going to tighten it down, but not too tight where I can still move it. And that way, you know, it'll be less strain on that hose. And then if I put like a little keeper right here to hold that hose and run just like a little small hose down to the ground where I can put a quick disconnect, I can do that. But for now, I'm just going to run just a quick disconnect. And the way that it's going to work is it's just going to screw right into here. And you will have to use a pair of channel locks on this particular fitting just to tighten it up, because you can't get it tight enough with your hand. And like I said, eventually I'll come back with a little short water hose that's maybe 2 foot long or something, and you know, fix it to where it's supported. But for now, like I said, I'm just gonna put a quick connect fitting on there, and that way I can just plug my hose right into it, be nice and tidy, and won't be sticking so far out. And I think, you know, this will make it easier to get it in and out of doors. And so all that I have to do next is I've got a quick connect coupler on the end of my water hose, and I'm just going to put it on there just like that, and that way it'll be easy to get on and off. And then this here is, you know, where you can move it back and forth. And I just think that's going to be the most streamlined way to, you don't want to have this sticking out too far and hit something and break that off in there. So I figured this would, just bring it in and bring it down and keep everything close to the cart nice and tight. I just think that's really the way to go, and it keeps a lot of the strain off the hose from pulling off on that on the side of the pressure washer. So next I wanted to put some sort of drawer liner, and I found this on Amazon. It was really about the same price as the rest of the drawer liner. I think it was like $12.97 or something like that. But the reason I got this stuff is it's called No Rust, and it's supposed to prevent rust and corrosion for up to 5 years. And it's 18 inches, but I'm gonna have to cut it down to about 16 3/4 wide. It's 96 inches long, so I've got enough to do all 3 shelves there, for 13 bucks. Put a liner in there, and I figured if anything, it might help, keep the cart from rusting if water or something got on there. So that's why I went with it, and I thought for 13 bucks, you can't hardly beat it. All right, guys, so we went ahead and put in all of this liner into the trays, and we went to measure it and everything, and we noticed that the liner is 18 inches and it's about 16 3/4 from side to side. So what we were able to do is not even cut it, the 18-inch side. We left it and just tucked it up underneath these riv nuts where it bolts together, and it just fit absolutely amazing. So if you buy one of these carts, make sure you get the 18-inch liner and just tuck it up underneath. And then we had to make the end cuts, which is a lot easier than having to cut it both ways. And so we went ahead and did all 3 shelves, and then there at the bottom where the riv nuts stick up from the bottom to bolt the casters on, I took just a flare nut like you would do some plumbing with, and I heated it up with a torch and just poked a hole through there for the riv nuts. Actually, my girlfriend done it. I helped her heat the torch up and all that, but she wanted to do it, so I let her do it. So like I said in the very beginning, for me, I don't have any electricity in the back of the house. I figured since I had an extra power station that I'm not really doing anything with, except, just having it around for an emergency, why not just put it to use? And so I'm going to go ahead and take this one here. This is a power station from Power Republic, and I'm just going to set it on top. But the bad thing is it weighs like, I believe, 60 or 70 pounds. It is freaking heavy, really heavy. So I'm going to put another piece of foam up underneath it just so it don't mess this foam up. It'll help cushion it. Now, the reason why I went with this power station is it has a big capacity. So, I should be able to wash 2 cars easily on this power station and still have plenty of juice. If you're building this at home, obviously you don't have to run a power station. I'm sure most of you have, electricity behind your house where you're going to be washing your cars. I figured, this would be the best solution for me since I already had it. And I just ran all that excess of cord. I stuck it up underneath here on one of the pegs. I just stuck the peg going this way instead of out this way. So I can use the pegboard from either side. So that's what I did. I just wound that cord up, stuck it to the side, and now it's all tucked away under there nice and neat. I'm only using a couple feet of it right here, so I don't need it. So right here you can see that it's got that GFCI outlet, and I have it plugged into a really big power station, and I know it's huge. It's way bigger than what I would need, but hey, it is what it is. I've got it laying around, so might as well use it. And just to take some of the strain off the cord there, I just got a little zip tie that come with the Yakmatic hose. I've got it secured to the handle, so nothing's pulling on the cord and weighing it down and all that. And then I went ahead and stuck the gun and the wand on each side in the compartments right there on the back of the pressure washer. And then as far as the hose goes, I don't have a reel. I figured for no more than what I'm going to be using it, maybe once a week. It didn't make sense to me to get a reel. But, if you want one, put one on yours. You make it however is easiest for you. And who knows, maybe later on down the road, I might add one to this. Just really depends. But I figured for now, that 50 foot of hose fits right in there really good. And then right here behind the soap tank on the pressure washer, there's like a little cubby area right there. And that just fits that gun perfect. It fits in there like it was made for it. Now, to go ahead and outfit the unit, I went ahead and started picking my brain and trying to think of different things that I could use on my cart. And I was walking around Walmart the other night, and I come across these little cleaning bins. I think they were $2 or $3, and I picked them up because I thought they were going to be really cheap. How the plastic on a lot of stuff is just really junk. It's made very thin. And as soon as I picked it up, I was like, holy crap. I looked at my girlfriend, I was like, these things are built like a tank, and they're only like $2 or $3. I bet you these would fit on my cart. And sure enough, I bought 2 of them, and I took a chance, and I come home and I walked right in the door, and I seen that these would fit right in there just like that. And you know, guys, $2 to $3 for these, and they're gonna stick out at an angle so you can put your brushes and cleaning stuff in there. And just to show you, they did come from Walmart. You can see right there, there's the tag, you know, Supply Caddy Pen Gear. I went ahead and put a brush in there in case I'm washing a boat or, you know, something that requires a brush. You know, I would never put that on my car, but I'm just saying, I figured I could take and put it in the top like that. It fits perfectly in this Chinrose cart. And so let's say you don't want them right here when you're working on stuff, but you want to put them right here just so you can get through doors and things like that, because I'm going to keep my pressure washer in the house so it don't freeze and ruin the pump. So I'm going to be going through in and out doors, and so I don't want nothing hanging off the edge of the cart. But while I'm using the cart, you know, who knows, I might take these out and put them in there just like that. And you know, there's enough room right here where you could do one this way and one right beside it, and it fits in there perfect. I mean, these things are not going anywhere. The way that they're made, they just seem to hook on, and they'll go either way. Look at that. So, man, I seen that and I was like, wow, that's awesome. And to be able to do it for just a couple of dollars, I mean, if you're creative, you know, you can build something way better than those rich boys who buy those $1,000 plus detailing cards. You know, you don't need all that. You can take and build your own and customize it however the heck you want to, and it can be just as cool. Nobody has to know that this comes from Walmart. I mean, literally, you can pull the sticker off of it and nobody would ever know. They would just think that it was a built-in cubby. And so I think it looks neat. I went to the same Walmart and I found these little pump sprayers on clearance. Well, here in the front, you know, if I wanted to, I've got some space, so I could always take and hang one there, hang one there. I ended up getting like 4 of them, but I mean, easily I can hang 3 right there just beside the power station, and I've got plenty enough room. And then when it's time to transport, I can just set them up here on the cart so they don't get in the way of the door. But you know, I went to another Walmart and I seen these for $2.50. So if you're in Calhoun, Georgia, stop by the Walmart, go out to the garden center and pick you up some of these sprayers for $2.50. I mean, you go to Harbor Freight, they're $5 or $6, you know, or more. I appreciate you guys watching. This is pretty much just your part 1. I'll have, you know, part 2 showing how to use this thing. And please like and subscribe to the channel. I'd sure appreciate it. You know, we'll do some more tests on detailing stuff like this, you know, because I always love doing this kind of stuff. I've been cleaning up cars for a long time. You know, I always keep my car clean. That's one thing I pride myself on, is having a nice looking car. So if there's anything that you guys might be interested in that I showed you, you know, it'll all be in the description. The Karcher pressure washer, the Yakmatic hose and gun and the tips and all that, and the cart, the Chinrose cart, and just pretty much anything. The liner, it'll be in there. I'll put everything in the description. So just, you know, if you see something I'm using, just check it out down below. Until next time, see ya.